welcome to Brews and Boxing, and happy NFL season to everybody out there too. It's opening night tonight for the NFL, and we got much boxing news to get into, and we have a Brews and interview segment, which we haven't done for a while, which should be fun to do. No game show this week. We're actually going to delay it till next week, but so my undefeated steak is going to last this month anyway, but it's going to last another one. With me are my experts as always. First, as always, is Filthy Rich. Filthy Rich, what do you got to say about the Yankees?
Well, Brian Danielson is all out, and I think that's what it is. He's all out, and Adam Cole is all out, baby. You don't know about that. Y'all are asleep, man.
No, I was just trying to understand why there was crickets in my bedroom here at this time of day. All right, and my other expert is the one, the only, the judge, Jimmy James. Judge, how are you?
I'm doing well. Ready to get the show on the road.
All right, good talk. As I said, we got a long show, a lot of news, and we got an interview segment. So that should be fun, gentlemen. So let's start it off like we always do and crack a beer. So, gentlemen, cheers. Drinking the champagne, of course.
Cheers.
All right,
Rich, dang.
What are you drinking there? You got a little summer, bit of summer,
just,
little Bud Light Lime. Is that what that is?
Pounding it.
Man, yeah.
You can tell it's Filthy Rich's day off. That's not his first one. All right, let's get on with this show. All right, gentlemen, brews and news time. Lots of things to get into. First thing, we're going to jump right into it because we're on a time crunch and we got a lot of things to get into. So Eddie Hearns wants Tyson Fury stripped of the WBC title if he doesn't fight Deontay Wilder on October 9th. Now, this fight between these two have been delayed several times due to COVIDs and contracts and all sorts of other stuff, court cases, whatever you want. But he wants him stripped of the title. Again, who cares about titles, as Rich will tell you. But WBC also getting their name in again when it comes to titles. Jimmy James, what do you think of this?
Well, I mean, Hearn has a point. Fury hasn't, since he won this belt, he hasn't fought. Man, it's going on, it's at least a year and a half. I mean, to not have a defense for that long of a time, that's kind of a long time, right? I mean, especially when there's mandatories and other challengers in the heavyweight division. There's obviously a lot of UK heavyweights. So I can see why he's upset. Obviously, one of the big names, well, the bigger names, I guess, is Dillian White from the UK side that's been waiting for quite a while. But I mean, the Wilder fight was supposed to happen in July. COVID happened, something like that, and then something else happened. I feel like it's been postponed a couple of times, and now I think at this point, there hasn't been any talks about it wavering off of October 9th. However, it feels to me like this fight hasn't been marketed really well. Because when this news came up, I kind of forgot that they were fighting and in a relatively soon time. So I don't know if that's something to be a little skeptical about. That maybe there is something behind the scenes that Hearns knows about that the regular public doesn't. But I mean, you got to fight. If you're not going to defend the title, then why do you have the title? So I can definitely see where Hearns is coming from here. But yeah, I mean, why not? If he doesn't fight, strip him of it. He can get it back fighting somebody else.
Well, let's not forget too that Hearn also promotes Dillian White too. So I mean, let's not forget that. I mean,
well, that's fair.
He wants Dillian White name out there, and Dillian White was in our high rankings early on in our show a year or two ago when we started this thing. But it's been 2 years, almost 2 years if he doesn't fight in October, and I feel the same way you do. I feel like this fight's going to get canceled for something. It's like it feels like it's never even been reset in stone. I don't know. Filthy Rich, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I don't know when the last time Tyson Fury fought, but we're all aware of this COVID thing. At some point, you have to get in the ring. This Wilder fight happened because Wilder sued him and took the thing to court. So he probably should have fought somebody by now, and the fight could have went on, and then Wilder stepped in. And at that time, and even right now, I agree with Wilder because there's these contracts don't mean anything until you bring them to court, and then they actually mean something. So that set a precedent for boxing and boxers. So I don't blame Eddie Hearn for trying to strip this dude of his title. I don't care about the titles. They don't mean anything. Tyson Fury's the lineal champion. He beat the man who beat the man who beat the man.
Woo!
And you won't be able to strip him of his lineage. You could take away 3 letters of the alphabet and give them to someone else. Tyson Fury will get his hands on his belts if he wants them. But go ahead. You know what? Make him the WBC interim champion or the super champion or something. I mean, you could strip away the title to just award him with something else anyways. So I don't know. I understand that Dillian White probably wants a title just to give his name some recognition. By all means, take your title. They're just going to give Fury something else anyways. So titles are a mess. Fury, no matter what, will be the lineal champion until he gets beat.
I mean, let's face facts too. Dillian White has not really looked too good in his last 2 fights anyway. Since when we ranked him, when he had that loss, he got the revenge in the loss, but he just hasn't looked that good, I didn't think. What do you guys think? I don't think he's in that same caliber as a Joshua, Wilder, or Fury anymore. You guys think that?
I would agree. I mean, he's a name. He's a
Yeah,
draw
he's a
for
name.
the heavyweight, but I'd probably agree with that.
Like he would be a tier below all those guys, I would think.
A tier below who? Fury, Joshua, and who?
And
Wilder? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so you're probably looking at 4 or 5 at best, but top 10 at worst. So
yeah, no, I was just talking if you tiered it, there's a tier 1. They're those 3 are definitely bigger and better, and those 3 fighting are going to be a lot bigger draw than a Dillian White versus a Fury fight would be, I would imagine. Anyway, moving on to some more smack talk like we talked about last week, and talk about pot calling kettle and kettle calling pot. Gary Russell Jr., who fights probably as often as Tyson Fury does, calls Gervonta Davis a cherry picker and says it almost backfired against Mario Barrios. Pretty ridiculous coming from the source, but I guess beggars can be choosers. What do you think, Filthy Rich, on Gary Russell Jr.'s comments at Tank?
No, you nailed it. It's the messenger. It's not necessarily the message, but it's the messenger. And the messenger, I don't think has much something to this. I'm missing a word here, but we don't know if Gervonta Davis has been cherry picking. He can only beat the guys in front of him. But Gary Russell is fighting maybe twice a year. And yeah, I guess he's a big dollar fighter. So he's only going to fight for the highest amount. But I'm pretty sure Gervonta Davis is going to fight anyone in front of him. Now, can he get a guy in the ring? I don't think anyone wants to fight Gervonta. I don't think he's ducking anyone. So Russell Jr. is making it sound like Gervonta is, I don't know, possibly afraid of an opponent. But these guys aren't even in the same weight class. So calling out, you may as well call out a heavyweight while you're at it. You're not going to get in the ring with him. So I don't know. I remember when he called out Crawford for some reason. Come on, man. Like, get your weight up or call out dudes in your own weight class so we can see you get back in the ring. But I don't see why it's not picking on Gervonta, but I don't know why he's talking about Gervonta right now.
I don't either. I had him number 1 last week in our lightweight things. You guys both have him at number 2. I don't think you would have Gary Russell Jr. anywhere near the top 3 of his weight class. So just saying, Judge, what do you think of this ridiculous smack talk?
I mean, Russell's at 126, right? So the only possibility that probably won't happen is if they fight at 130 or at some sort of catch weight, or Russell has to come up to 135 and Davis comes down to 135. Right? The 135 is probably the only scenario that's probably feasible, but I doubt Russell's going to jump that far up, right? So just real quick, after Russell's loss to Lomachenko in 2014, he has fought in December 2014, March 2015, April 2016, May 2017, May 2018, May 2019, and then February 2020. He hasn't fought since. So if you want to talk about someone who's cherry picking, what are you waiting for, man? It's been almost you're going at a year and a half. This is the same length that Fury hasn't fought. Like, what are you waiting for if you're such a top dog? Like, you're only getting older. You're 33 years old. Get in the ring and start showing it, man. Like Davis is getting in there. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz, I mean, that was impressive to me. I think going fighting Barrios, that's pretty impressive to me too. I don't think he was losing on the cards at the time that he knocked Barrios out. I know Russell was saying that in one of these articles, but I don't know, man. If you talk about cherry picking, seems like Tank's getting out there. Russell, you ain't doing nothing. I think your mouth is just as fast as your hands, so you might want to work on that a little bit. Get back in the ring, beat a big name, get another belt, or do something, and then maybe we'll see what's happening. But that's pretty ridiculous.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like he's picking on a guy he's obviously never going to fight, and just because he's a big name, and if I talk smack about said big name that I'm never going to fight because of the weight division split, I'm going to get my name in the news and talked about on Brews and Boxing. Basically, what it sounds like to me. What do you guys think?
You know, I didn't. This was in an interview, I believe, and maybe the media who gets, you know, we're the media. Let's be real here, but like, there was no reason to ask Russel Jr. about Gervonta Davis. There just wasn't any reason to. I don't understand why he was. I didn't see this thing, so maybe he wasn't asked. But from the knowledge I've received, it seems like he was almost baited into, hey, say something about Gervonta Davis, and he's speaking from the heart. I just don't agree that that Gervonta Davis is a cherry picker. That seems a bit off to me.
Yeah, it just sounds like to me he's getting his name out there, but pretty ridiculous. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they baited him in there. We don't ever bait our interviewers. We give them the straight questions. We never try to bait them in anything. Let's move on to the next one here. James, they may have listened to you because the Tuesday pay-per-view is off. They're bringing it to you a day early. Teofimo Lopez fighting Kambosos. They moved it from the 5th on a Tuesday night to the 4th because of a mythical possible MLB matchup between the Red Sox and the Yankees that might or might not happen, but instead decide to go head-to-head with the NFL Monday Night Football, which, that sounds like brilliant marketing on their part. James, I know you're all excited for this now. What do you think about them moving to Monday Night Boxing and going head-to-head with Las Vegas happens to be playing that night as well? By the way, Las Vegas is a hot center for boxing. So what do you think?
When you guys were making it out,
we weren't making out
when we talked about it a couple of shows ago, that maybe this was a good, a bold strategy, Cotton. That
see how it works out.
Doing it on Tuesday because obviously there's football now on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday had something.
High school, probably.
High school,
wrestling
or college or something. I don't know. There was some other stuff.
We were saying take over Fridays is what we were saying.
Well, you guys made some good points to why it would be on Tuesday because nothing's going on a Tuesday, right? Well, way to screw that one up. Now they're just pulling it onto a Monday to go against like Monday Night Football. It's only that's going to be, 3 weeks into the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be real tough to get away from that.
John Gruden.
I mean, to be honest, so I don't know, and I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing anymore. I thought we had this on point to what Triller was trying to do, and now I don't have a clue. So I don't know. Best of luck to you, I guess, but it's I don't think that's a winning mix.
Brilliant!
Maybe during the break between fights, they just show some of the game or the highlights. Well, here's the highlights of the first quarter of the Raiders. Look at how many times John Gruden's face can be thing. And here to tell you why it's a great idea, because it's against the Yankees on Tuesday, is Filthy Rich. So, Filthy Rich, tell us why
Boy,
this is
here
a
we
great
go.
idea to move it back away
All
from the
right,
Yankees.
stop. All right, so here's if you're gonna put me in this position to defend this, here's what I'll tell you. These fights don't even happen until late, anyways. So maybe they delay the main event of this card, which is Kambosos and Lopez, till after this game is over. Not too long ago, there was a UFC fight and there was a boxing match. For something tells me it was Kovalev. It couldn't have been Kovalev Canelo.
I think it was Inoue.
Wasn't, no, it was longer than, I think it was
Longer than
Kovalev
that?
and
Okay.
Canelo, and they were waiting for the UFC main event to finish before Kovalev and Canelo came out to the ring. That could be what is going on here. You know, everyone's hyped up. I don't know. To me, look, I've been put in a position to, we did not agree to this. I'm trying to defend Triller here. I don't get it. I thought Tuesday would have been fine, but yes, if you're going to be at the Hulu Theater at MSG, and this baseball game is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be in Boston or New York, but I get why they want to move the date. I don't know why it would be a day earlier. I would have done it a day later, but it wouldn't surprise me if this date moved again. Let's be honest here. Somebody's going to come to the conclusion that there's a Monday Night Football game. I don't know what big games are, but this is a rivalry game. This is the AFC West.
Division.
That whole AFC West is they're all rivals. One of the biggest division rivalries in all of football. So somebody might come to their senses and say, look, let's move it to Wednesdays. I hope we don't have to talk about this next week if it moves to Wednesday. Can I just leave it at that? Can I just drink to that?
You can drink to that. I'm telling you, John Gruden on Monday Night Football is ratings gold. It is, no matter how bad they are, and it's early enough in the season where, hey, they're 1-2. The Raiders can make a run at this. You know, it's possible. You know. All right, last bit of news we're going to touch into here. Connor Benn, we talked a little bit about last week when we were talking about possible opponents that he'd be fighting. Apparently, he's targeting About Broke, not About Billions, About Broke, Adrian Broner. Is this too big a step up? That's what Jays puts on there. Is that too big a step up to fight Adrian Broner, I guess? So I'll let you, since you put that question in there, James, I'll let you answer. Is that too big a step up for
James
Connor
on blast,
Benn?
man. Don't put James on blast.
That's perfectly fine, all right? And this is why I say this, because if you know where Connor Benn fights, he fights at the 147 division. The 147 division is stacked with talent, all right? That's why I put that question up there, okay? Because Ben keeps talking about wanting bigger name opponent. I mean, he just fought last week and wanted, told Eddie Hearns that he needs to be the headliner now after his decision win against Granados. It's like, that's a big step, dude. So I put that in there because I think it's, if you've seen, in my opinion, I don't think Ben's polished enough to start going after these bigger name people. I think he's a forward. He doesn't really have that great a defense. He has a lot of offense. He's going to get clipped. He's definitely going to get clipped. So yeah, I mean, I think he's a little outmatched. Plus he's a UK boxer, man. Plenty of UK boxers are dominant in the UK, come over to the US and then just get popped like that. And they get put in their place. So yeah, that's why I said that.
So are you saying that Adrian Broner is going to beat Connor Benn? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't
Are you going
say
out
that.
on that limb?
I'm not going out on that limb, but it'll probably be a lot closer than people think.
Well, hopefully Broner can afford to buy some boxing ring attire and some gloves because, you know, he's broke. He has no money. About broke instead of about billions. What do you think there, Filthy Rich? Connor Benn is biting too much than he could chew on Adrian Broner in the ring, the feared Adrian Broner?
I mean, I don't think so, but if the narrative is he wants to be a headliner, someone had to have told him, you're not a headliner. You're gonna have to fight someone who can generate a lot of money, which Broner does, but you'll have to be the B side. And Broner, you know, I've talked risk reward. This is the one, because this has a high reward with probably little risk when it comes to being on the B side of a fight. I don't know if he was the A side against Granados, but when Granados and Broner fought, Broner ended up winning barely, I thought, anyways. So this is, to me, logically the next step. I want to be the headliner, but you could be a headliner against any bum. I don't want to call any of these guys bums. I don't mean to disrespect the sport, but you're not a headliner yet. And if you're not going to be a headliner, who's the guy that you're most likely to beat, get the most money, but still be a B-side? Adrian Broner has just been undisciplined for so long. We got into it his last fight where I know Raider Live thought Broner lost. I can't remember what James thought, but thought Broner won that fight. I thought it was a very close fight. Connor Benn could probably beat Adrian Broner, man. The clock's only ticking, so...
Well, let's face it. Connor Benn says he's a headliner. He is not yet, and he never will be an Amir Khan. Dance with us, James. But it's true. He will never be an Amir Khan. All right, that's the news this week. Let's move on with the rest of the show here. Good news segment. Let's move on to Brews and Interviews. All right, Brews and Interviews segment. We are honored to be joined by Vinny, Downwind, heavyweight boxer in the local area, Twin Cities here from Minneapolis. Thank you for joining us, Vinny. It's a pleasure to have you on. You got a couple big fights coming up this year. We got one up in Hinckley and one up in down at Canterbury, where our neck of the woods. Hopefully, we're actually going to be at that fight here, so that's going to be fun here too. So we'll be there watching you kicking some ass. Very pleasure for you to join us here, and we got a few questions for you. Thanks for joining us. First off,
thanks for having me.
Oh man, it's a pleasure is all ours. James, why don't you start us off with a few of the questions you got for him?
Yeah, I had one quick one off the bat. Obviously, it looks like you've been out of the ring for about 5 years. I was just curious as to what are you doing differently to get ready for your resurgence back to the ring?
A lot of focus on cardio, a lot of conditioning. The strength is there. I'm just trying to get my body to keep up and push past that, keep the momentum going.
Yeah, you were telling us that you're like in best shape. You lost 100 pounds, you said?
Oh, yeah. I've lost over 100 pounds now. Shout out to Valhalla Combat Sports, man. They're keeping me in shape, pushing my pace, really keeping me motivated.
And you still got that power, right?
Of course.
Jimmy the Bull, you're going to find that one out. Go ahead, Jim.
I mean, that was the big question
okay.
I had.
Rich, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rich, let it rip, bud.
All right, Vinny, thanks for joining us tonight, man. Pretty cool for you to take the time out for, a couple guys like us. I just wanted to ask you, when I was watching boxing, I think Roy Jones was my guy. I was like, if I was going to be a boxer, I wanted to be like Roy Jones. Who's the guy that you saw and said, that guy, that's the guy I want to be like?
Oh man, it's somebody Roy Jones knocked out, but he's still one of the baddest dudes. And, 6 weight classes. James Toney, love that dude.
James lights out Tony.
Yeah.
At what, like light heavyweight? Is that when you probably first saw him?
I must have seen him at like middleweight or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. So I guess my final question for you, and I think we already have the answer for it. If you could have anyone train you, who would that guy be, Vinny?
I'll definitely go with James Toney. Oh my goodness, man.
I'll drink to James Toney. I'll tell you that.
I'll drink to that. Is that the style you kind of go for when you're in the ring? What's your kind of style that you go with?
I try to stay balanced. I like to react off of people and make them pay for their mistakes.
So kind of a counterpuncher.
Yeah.
Are you Orthodox or Southpaw? I
Orthodox.
Orthodox. Right on. So you've been working a lot with your counterpunching and your speed, basically with your new gym. Is what you're talking about?
Yeah, but I got power in both hands.
Ooh, I like it. He's gonna knock him out. No, you got a big fight coming up against James Barnes, Jimmy the Bull, who was coming off a loss, you said, but he did beat one of your former opponents by knockout. How do you prepare for James Barnes here? He's a big fighter. We watch. He's got a mean right hand, and he's pretty quick too on his feet for a big guy.
Yeah. I hope he's quicker than me. No.
Oh, you don't? You hope you're quicker.
Hey, man, I've always been the underdog. I like uphill battles, but I intend to run straight through them, you know?
Right on. That's a 4-round fight at Hinckley, right?
Yep, October 22nd.
October 22nd. Tickets are on sale now for that one?
They should be in a couple of days.
All right. Make sure you guys check that out. We'll put a link down here below in our YouTube comments or description here where you can get tickets to the Grand Casino Hinckley fight on October 22nd. Our guy Vinny Downwind versus Jimmy the Bull, James Barnes. Vinny's going to go in there showing his new style and his new way of life after 5 years. Going to come in there and dominate, I am sure, for sure. And then after that, you have a Canterbury Park fight. That is December 4th, right?
Yeah. It was supposed to be Jimmy Barnes, but he called me out, said he wanted to go October 22nd. I pressed the gas. Let's go, man. You know?
So why did he call you out? Like, where did that come from? Did you guys have a little history?
No. I guess word's been floating around that I want a piece of him, so, you know, he's the next stepping stone.
Did that word
like
floating around happen to come from you and your gym? You want this guy?
I want everybody in the heavyweight division, man.
So what's your plan after Jimmy? If you beat Jimmy, then you got a fight coming up in December. Is there some title aspirations that you're looking for? Some champions in your division you're looking at?
Not yet. Nobody special, but, you know, Minnesota's got a bunch of diamonds in the rough here, and, you know, we'll see what happens on the 4th.
Oh yeah. Well, we're big in Minnesota. Obviously, we film in Minnesota, and strangely, we're big in the Philippines too. I don't know why that is. I guess when we go over there, we're gonna find out we're big in the Philippines too for some reason. But Minnesota's got a lot of great boxing. I'm sure you're gonna move right up, fighting at the Canterbury Park and Hinckley. Probably the next stop's gonna be the Armory. After that, get a fight at the Armory or two. That's get some money there. You know, see all those guys fight with maybe on a Rob Brandt card or Jamal James card up there or something. You know, just don't walk out of the. Make your opponent walk out of the ring like the other guy did at the Armory. What was that guy's name?
Yeah.
I've already had a guy do that.
Against Effie Jog.
Oh, well, you already had a guy do that?
You had a guy do that?
James Rowe.
He walked out of the ring on you?
He didn't even make it to the ring. We had the face-off photos. We went to weigh-ins. We showed up to the fight, and some family emergency came up. He was trying to replace him with his coach and stuff. It was a mess.
Wait, he tried to put his trainer in there to fight you instead?
Yeah.
That
was
is
the
awesome.
first time I've ever experienced that. I was like, oh. That guy
Wow.
must be good.
It shows you're doing something right. They're scared of you, man. They don't want to fight you. They don't want to fight you. All right, that's heavyweight Vincent Vinny Downwind. He's fighting October 22nd at Grand Casino Hinckley in Minnesota, and then we'll be fighting December 4th at Shakopee, Canterbury Park. I'm expecting big things for you, Vinny. We got a shirt for you. Hopefully you can wear that out there, especially after you dominate Jimmy the Bull and say, hey, Brews and Boxing, and my guys, you are officially a BAB champion in our eyes. We have the only belt that matters in our eyes is the Brews and Boxing belt, and you are officially a champion in our book.
Hey, definitely. And
I can't wait to. We're gonna go to them fights, man. We're gonna see you. We'll especially see you at the Canterbury one. We'll try to make it up to the Hinckley one. But if you are in the area, you definitely want to go check out Vinny Downwind. It's going to be an amazing fight, amazing time. Thanks for your time today, Vincent. Vinny, I really appreciate it. It's always fun having local guys on here, especially the love of the sport that we have, and to have somebody that does it like you. It takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage to do what you do, and we really respect that.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Of
Thanks,
course,
Vinny. Hope you
you're
can make it
welcome
back
anytime. You're welcome you back anytime. Maybe we'll come and have you on one of our game show weeks so you can beat the judge in one of our game shows, since everyone else beats him every week too.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Fair.
Vinny. Very much appreciated. Check it out, Hinckley, October 22nd, Grand Casino, and then December 4th, Shakopee, Canterbury Park. Vinny Vincent Downwind, heavyweight, soon to be champion of Minnesota. All right, that's our show this week. Big thanks to Vincent, Vinny Downwind, heavyweight, soon-to-be champion of Minnesota. Can't wait to see your fights. You got to go check him out at Hinckley. Once again, that's October 22nd. Tickets are on sale. If you want to follow him on social media, we'll put his stuff right down below in the description here. He's got a Snapchat and a Facebook. And follow him. Follow local boxers. They're doing it for the love of the game, and that's what we love. We love the game as well, and those are the Warriors actually doing it. Filthy Rich, why don't you bring us on home, buddy?
About to drink to a couple people here. One of them is a newlywed friend of the show. You know who you are. Congratulations. And shout out to Siltacular. Follow him on Twitter. He's been retweeting us and liking us, and I'll drink to both of you. Heaven sent, too. Thank you.
In case you didn't know who that was.
Slim Jim, take it away. Beef Stick, take it away.
Beef Stick Slim Jim. If they are listening to us, where can they watch us? If they're watching to us, where can they listen to us?
If you're listening to us and want to watch us, you can go to YouTube /Brews and Boxing. If you're watching us and want to listen to the podcast, you can go to any major podcast site and type in Brews and Boxing into the search bar, and you will hear our lovely voices.
Which one you like better, Slim Jim Beef Stick or the sauce?
It's a good thing it's the end of the show.
All right. In case, by the way, that person that got married is Matt Seabach, former acquaintance of this show. I guess acquaintance of the show. I don't know. We love you, brother. Many happiness to you guys. And thank you again for Vinny for coming on the show. And for Judge Jimmy James and Filthy Rich, I am Raider Live. Thank you very much. Go see a local boxing fight. We will talk to you guys next week.